Okay. Okay, good evening and welcome to the first international live of Esmach. Tonight we talk about pizza and how to optimize production and reduce working hours. I present to you Greg Yurkovich. Hi, Greg.
Ciao. Hi guys.
Owner of the Pop's Pizza Place in Lubiana. They make an amazing pizza napoletana. It's fantastic. And we have Alberto, is the export manager of Esmach. And welcome.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, guys.
I leave you.
No, I wanted to thank you for considering me also as a valued partner for Esmach and Bongiovanni, and for including me in your first international program. You know, it's unsurprising that an American guy living in Lubiana would be teaching some Italians about pizza making, but it's my honor.
Fantastic.
Thank you to be here.
Thank you, Greg.
Yeah.
I leave you to your live, and I will interrupt you to ask the question from audience.
Yes.
Thank you, Stefano. So, Greg, as you said, I remember you when you came here. So, what impressed me the most is an American guy from South California moved to Lubiana without no experience on pizza, and you have the coolest pizzerias in Lubiana. So, how did it work? How can it happen? Tell us something about your story.
Well, I think it comes down to having passion and a desire to make the best experience for the customers, of course. You know, we started 4 years ago with Pop's Place, Gastropub in Lubiana, that went to quite a lot of notoriety. So now probably one of the most popular restaurants in Lubiana. But we're always challenging ourselves. You know, it's all about building experience, superseding expectations. Everything we did there included, baking our own buns, dry aging the beef. Basically farm to kitchen mentality, locally sourcing everything, focusing on the ambiance and the overall, I say, user experience. So what we don't do is make a product. We generate memories for people. There's so many people are always in contact with us, telling us how memorable it was and how much they look forward to coming back. And secondly, my philosophy is we build a restaurant for the locals. If you build a successful experience and you're authentic, and I think authenticity today means everything, especially in this environment. We're challenged, and I'll tell you, if you don't convince the locals to come, you can forget about it. And so
sure.
two years ago, when we were quite famous, and I was probably too busy with my first project, I decided to jump into making pizzas. And honestly, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. And,
from finance to pizza.
Yeah, basically it was, like I said, it was kind of a midlife crisis moment when I opened the first restaurant, wanting to pursue my passion, not just the wallet. So what did I do? I started looking on the internet and found this organization, Association of Vera Pizza Napoletano, and said, all right, I'm signing up, boom, go. It was October, is a good time to spend time away from the business because the season sort of goes down. So basically in a week or 9 days of that course, and ironically, you're gonna laugh, I think I had one of the worst final grade tests in that group. I had, 3 chances to bake the pizza, and tore all 3 pizzas, finally made the 4th one. It was so terrible. But at least I was driven, to kind of pursue the final product. So came back.
You had no experience at all?
No.
Nothing.
Oh.
I mean, imagine, I know that making pizzas is an art, much like making sushi or anything, but more than being a cook. You can learn how to be a cook by following recipe and I think kind of understanding general process in the kitchen. But being a pizzaiolo or a baker requires feeling, interpretation interpretation of humidity, hydration,
For sure.
salt, the ambient environment. And then you have all the different steps, managing the dough, proofing, all these aspects were overwhelming for me. And anyway, I continued going. I spent about 2 years in Naples, apprenticing at various pizzerias, learning about the culture and absorbing it into me. It's probably one of my favorite places. Campania to me, Napoli, and the people there, and the passion, and the I would say the commitment to this, UNESCO now. I call it lifestyle terroir, whatever you call it.
Yeah, pizzas are a religion over there.
Yeah. So, what I want to say, it requires a lot of energy, and you can't fake it. You can't just say, I'm going to open up a Neapolitan pizzeria and I'm going to be successful. You can't unless the owner-operator is obsessed as anyone else. It just requires a different level of commitment from other things. And certainly, because it's a living product and you're dealing with a fermented product, it requires a continuous dedication and attention. So my goal was find the best products, find the best equipment to kind of allow me to succeed in my venture. So that's basically what brought us to Bongiovanni and obviously Esmach, which I've been hugely impressed with because it allows me to shorten the life cycle from bagged water to a product that is autolyzed, rounded, that is, and in the cassettes in a, I would say, record time. Myself, for example, if I come in at 9 in the morning, I can make 2 doughs of approximately, so I use about a bag and a half on average for one batch because I have the 60-liter machine back there. So if I was pressed, I could probably do 2 doughs back to back, have them autolyzed, have them rounded within 2 hours and 15 minutes, if you can imagine. So what it allows me to do is to be super efficient. That is, it allows me to be connected to the product, number one, which I'm completely, like I said, obsessed with dough production, dough making. And it allows me to be connected without relying on other people. At the same time, if I want assistance, because there's some bit of automation in the process, it's specifically the rounding, we can do it even much faster. For example, I can pump out about 500 doughs. I can do that in about 30 minutes with 2 guys. Less, actually. So it's super efficient. I know that you asked me, we were talking about, how has this COVID situation impacted me, right? And what are the decisions we had to make? So just like every pizzeria everywhere, you're giving shutdown orders, let's say by March 15th. At least it was here. Imagine we're making a lot of pizzas, and then you shut down. Costs are still chasing you from the few months before, and you have to. There's a lot of financing involved, but then you have to think of how can I downsize my operation but still stay operational and relevant. And this kitchen, this setup that I have, has allowed me, like I said, by myself, not basically relying on extra staff or the pizzaiola time. It allows me to make the dough and to minimize optimize the schedules that I make for the pizzaiolas, right? So I give the guys longer shifts in the sort of the midday to the evening, and I can do this with relative ease, in the mornings.
Yeah.
So that's basically the philosophy here. It allows us to be super efficient with a very small footprint. That, and I would even say, in a way, I've come up with some tricks in the process that I would even patent. The process that functions so well in the way that we do it, that it really makes a product. Whether you produce them by hand, so make the balls by hand, the panetti, or with the rounder,
Yeah.
I'll tell you the product is the same. No one can convince me otherwise. So it's all about efficiency.
That's the biggest problem that all our customers having. They need to keep it down the cost, and they need to concentrate the big production for takeaway in a couple of hours. And we with the Iran, we're having big result in that. And then of course here always is even more, let's say, perfect in terms of the ground than dividing by hands, faster everything. So I remember when you came here and you've been impressed by how fast you can get the perfect bowl for things. And I know that you do also bun for your burgers, right?
Yes.
So
We
this
do.
is
I don't use the rounder. We do those actually by hand because I use. It's a slightly different process. The high hydration would never work. So we were looking at
okay.
plus 70% hydration that for the rounder, which would be challenging, because I know that the Esmach, the manual says that you kind of have a maximum ball size of, let's say, 240, 250 with a maximum hydration in the low 60s, right?
Yeah, we can reach, I would say, 280 in some point.
It's true. I wanted to tell you, that's
Yeah,
basically what I'm doing. Comfortably,
yeah.
I do 280. That's
Yeah.
kind of the size that we use because it's sort of an optimal size. 250 I find to be more in the small size. I also want a more stable product because I tend to use a higher hydration dose. So for me, what works for the type of product that I like to see is about a 65% hydration.
Okay.
And every now and then, I'll play around and I'll come in early and I'll make a biga at about 75% hydration. But obviously, that's a different product. It's more for messing around.
Yeah.
So,
And we know that another important thing you're using is the Madido, or because of course you're using the EVPN certification for that, and liquid yeast is included on that. And we know that managed by hand is quite difficult. That's why one of our main thing is getting the machines for that.
It's a funny thing. I find that as we know, using Lievito Madre makes a more stable product, and also allows for better, longer fermentation. For reasons we already know. Once you get used to it, it's very easy to manage. There's only one thing you should never do is use bad hygiene. That's it. As long as you maintain a high quality, let's say, flour to feed the yeast, and you follow high hygiene. I also always maintain a bank of my different strains. I keep it as a backup, and about every week, I will flush out the system and start fresh.
Okay.
As just a prophylactic, it allows me to ensure that I kind of keep an optimal product. I've noticed that sometimes it's hard to maintain.
That's the main problem with liquid yeast.
Yeah, exactly. With liquid yeast is how much residual yeast. Obviously, the hydration on the mother yeast is also varies. Some people follow more foolish model. I tend to go with a lower hydration, probably in the 40%. Gives me a little more structure to the dough. Allows me to get air bubbles, so like a passive flow test. You'd be surprised that mine looks like a spuma when it comes out in the water. But it's also a problem getting it out of the machine sometimes, because it's thicker, it doesn't flow out.
Okay.
But anyway, I've got a lot of techniques to fix that.
So tell us something more about the process for getting dough, which is the main thing that everybody thinks that is quite an easy thing, but as you said, there are many things that you should know. So how you get your pizza round?
How do I do that?
Yeah.
I'll actually show you. I'll walk you through how I do it. Now, with the caveat that the dough was made this morning, it's had extra time to autolyze, so if it gets a little sticky, don't hold it against me. What I would like to see after we put it on the rounder is nice uniform balls. That's what I'd like to show you. So, if you will allow me, I'm going to take my
of course.
my
Don't worry.
My colleague Andrea will probably point the camera down. Okay.
Great.
Okay.
We can around.
Yeah, we can
Make sure.
we can see more. Yeah, just move a bit on the right. Here you go. Here you go.
So, what we like to do here is you have to portion it, right? So you have to portion the doughs equally so it works out every time. We kind of came up with a system, and I have these 4.8 liter containers where we portion each of them so like this, which works for me. Keeps it well hydrated.
4.8, right?
So basically when I take it out of the mixer,
Okay.
we'll immediately portion and put them in here. So the autolyse, let's say the resting phase, right, will be in these. And
Okay.
to be honest, it can be as little as 15 minutes, you know, or more. And I've had
Okay.
similar results on all of the different ones. So I typically will dust a little bit. So you can imagine on a bigger scale,
Okay.
I have all these all over the place, and I'm you know, pressed for time. The bottlenecks are really, the bottleneck is the machine. The rounder is usually where I get all the bottlenecks. I have it set for 3 seconds for press, and then 20 seconds for rounding. So push it out.
You can look how is easy this operation.
Like a semola flour. I just give it a light dusting. I have mine set to 5, so the height.
So the image is like you get first pressing, then you get a knife, and then you round it. How is the weight of your normal pizza bowl? Take it off the edge.
Very easy, it's very fast.
If you think directly, it said us that it's around 400 pieces a day. So try to imagine divided hand by hand.
You guys watching?
Yeah, sure.
Look at those beauties.
Oh wow!
Here we
You
go.
can't get that by hand. Who can do this?
Good job, Greg.
Look.
Good job.
Closes beautifully down below.
Yeah.
It's soft. We check the weight. 290. 290.
That's
290. A little bigger. 290. I will point out that sometimes I like to go sometimes I go over, slightly over.
Okay.
But, I mean, that is a fantastic product.
Okay, that's great.
It is.
Let me see right here. Anyway.
Thanks for that. And then forget
How's
from
that?
there, you just put in the fridge and it's ready to be baked, right?
Yeah.
You use it.
No,
And then,
actually, it's like this. I believe that all dough needs to have ambient fermentation. So
okay.
all my dough, I use cold water. I do ambient fermentation for a minimum of 6 to 8 hours. That's basically to get the culture started, to get some sort of spring before I put it in the refrigerator. My refrigerators are set at a little higher temperatures. So I'm not I'm not blocking. I'm, you know, stalling slightly, but it still allows for active fermentation, you know. So that's basically how we do it here. And it works beautifully. It's very predictable. Today we made a little more dough. I made a little extra batch to make sure that we have enough for a couple days, but it can handle 2 days easily at the temperature.
You said us that during the weekend you can reach 500 pizzas per day, more or less.
Yeah, more.
Take away
Definitely
and something.
more. Definitely.
More than that?
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, we were doing 500 now, but let's say in last summer, actually, I don't want to say last summer, one of our biggest days ever was just before we closed. If you can believe that, I don't know how, but in March it was an explosion here. We did really good. Let's say 600 plus, yeah, easily. Yeah. That's on one oven. Mind you, a lot of these places run 2 to 3 ovens, and something I would love to have. That means I also need to have more pizzaiolos. So it's already hard enough because I have these guys from Naples and they cause me so many headaches here. But
there's always time to get bigger. Don't worry, we got time to get bigger.
They're good. They're good. I'm bringing another guy from Puglia. I said, just please no more Napolitano. Just kidding.
When it's enough. When it's enough.
No, I have a couple guys from Napoli. I've had a few. It's all
they're great.
Passionate. And,
yeah, I know. We know some of them because one of the master baker from AVPN is working with us. So he's the specialized on the pizzas one.
Salvatore?
Salvatore Del Rinaldi.
Yeah,
so,
sure. I know them well. Cristiano, I brought for 2 weeks when we opened. Just
of course.
For a little insurance, just in case we didn't work in place. Imagine we were running all the pizzas. I bought a combi oven. Ferrara oven, those with gas, which I never assumed we would ever use. So we're just going to be doing wood because hell, it's going to make the pizzas taste better. Of course, we all know that's not the case because if you can taste the wood, then there's something wrong with the oven. But we were running 600 pizzas a day plus on one oven, and it's extremely challenging to maintain temperature. And we said, look, let's just try the gas, see if it works. How is the result going to be? What I got was more real estate in the oven, and it makes the same product. No difference. Okay. I know a lot of people will argue. I might be, angering some people, but I don't believe. I think in largely, yes, it does sound good. Wood-fired oven sounds great. It's a great story. It's part of the process. But in the end, I'm only concerned with what goes on the plate.
Yeah, but tell us something about the ingredients you're using. I mean, are you having like a seasonal menu or how you can get it?
Yeah, so I have 3 Italian suppliers.
Okay.
I don't know if you know Selecta. Selecta, I think, is selling product all over Italy, but it's more like premium charcuterie, that sort of stuff. So we buy the
high quality product.
Yeah, very high quality. So we're buying the hams there, the prosciutto cotto, prosciutto crudo. We use exclusively San Daniele products for that. 24 months plus, at least on the prosciutto crudo. It's expensive, right? But I also don't get a lot of waste. The product
of course.
For a cheaper product, it doesn't cut well. It doesn't, end up looking good on the plate. And my philosophy is, buy the best ingredients you can possibly buy for period. So I've gotten, let's say we buy La Sorrentina. That's what I buy for my fior di latte. We use a lot of it. I could save 30% on my costs, which in an annual basis, I don't even want to tell you what my cheese expenses are. It's more than what you pay in Italy because it has to come cross-border, right?
Okay.
It's but it doesn't matter because the product needs to be good, and I know that my customers feel it. I have a lot of Italian customers, and to be honest, if I had to say who I'm making this product for, it's for my Italian customers. If the Italians are going to say, bravo, you've done a good job, then I've done.
You mean we're a good tester? We're a good tester.
Yeah, absolutely, because I know how obsessed you are about your coffee, your pasta, your pizza. So if I have a good commentary from you guys, then I know that I'm doing the right thing. So as far as the ingredients is, we have a small menu. So it's, I think, 10 pizzas or so. 10 pizzas. We use best ingredients we possibly can. We do have 1 or 2 pizzas that we rotate in and out. Might be a seasonal pizza. I'll play around with cacio e pepe or do something with some different vegetables. For the most part, we try to rotate it, but we have, I would say, there's a few pizzas here that probably comprise 3 pizzas comprise 50 comprate.
Yeah, which is the best seller.
Yeah,
The best dough.
which
Yeah.
is prosciutto, cotto, funghi, mozzarella, un po' di pepe nero.
They love it.
They love it. Every other pizza is a Penelope. Yeah, so yeah, we do those. We basically buy the best ingredients we possibly can. We make everything here in house. I think that as far as my experience in using flour, Bongiovanni for me works fantastically well.
Yeah,
It's an excellent product, and I have a good direct relationship with the team, and we really like the product. And of course, everyone has their own philosophy. We try to make a classic AVPN style pizza. I know that the whole pizza napoletano contemporaneo has become more and more of a thing. It's great, but you can't make those pizzas with lievito madre. You have to use
of course.
You know.
You said you're going to have class to make class.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
I lost the last things. You said that you're going to have.
What I'm saying is, I like to keep the pizzas more in line with traditional Neapolitan standards instead of the sort of the fancy biga pizzas that I know have become very popular. But in the end, I'm looking for how it tastes. It's a little balance of everything.
Tradition and things.
Yeah. I don't only follow trends. Is basically what I'd like to say.
Yeah.
And you know what I was going to say also? Yeah, the mixer also allows me to produce the dough faster than I would with the traditional spiral mixer. It's a fantastic spiral. The blade works extremely well, allows for efficient mixing. So for me, I wouldn't. And I don't. One other thing that the residual problem of using a spiral mixer is heating of the dough. It's a big problem. For mixing, you exceed these guidelines. I can actually increase sometimes if I feel like I need to, and I don't see any increase in temperature. Very limited.
That's our main goal. We got our R&D guys always talking every day with Stefano, the other team, just to get the better as you can for you guys.
It's actually it's amazing because I've had experience with other spiral mixers in the wrong hands. No, it doesn't work. But with here, I can get a good product. Quickly.
I think the machine is like the food. Quality always pay.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
I'm sorry, I don't want anyone else here buying it.
No, that's it.
No, it's good. So the way I run this is efficient. I use we refresh the dough every day. The lievito madre, the mother yeast every day. I use like a strong 0-0, so I use the Bongiovanni Vera, typically a lot of sugars, easy, very active flour, and and I do mix flours. Depending on what I'd like to see the following day or day after, and typically I do ferment for 24 hours is typical for me.
Sorry, Greg.
Yeah.
Lubiana people understand the sourdough, the lievito madre,
You'd be surprised. You'd be actually surprised. I think there's something about Slovenian people that makes us maybe obsessed about everything that they touch. And here we have some of the craziest sourdough bakers that have huge international followings. It's a huge trend now. I get contacted all the time by customers. How can I, buy your bread or buy your dough or buy your lievito madre? But then I always have to check the references in case it's not a pizzeria.
This is like in Italy, it's getting bigger and bigger every day.
Yeah.
Once they try, they can't get back.
It's the 0 kilometer thing, the people want to eat locally. We know the impact of bad diet and poorly fermented products, and it doesn't surprise me that people have problems with their digestion, have Crohn's disease, all these other things, because the quality of the wheat that we've been eating for the last 50 years has been in the food supply. Not to mention GMO is probably making people sick. Yeah, that's my philosophy.
Of course.
So So it's a good, efficient little operation here, I will say.
That's good. I get a question. What's next? What's the next step? What do you think? Have you got any project in mind, or
Well, I'll tell you, I've got. Sorry, here's kind of a message. Yeah, I've had a lot of ideas, but you can imagine now in this environment, the last thing we're thinking about is expanding. But something along the lines of authentic Mexican would be, I think, something I would do. If you can imagine, I'm from Southern California, so it wouldn't surprise me if I did do that. But honestly, we're 1 year. June 1st will be a 1 year anniversary for the pizzeria, and sky's the limit on us, assuming that the world's not going to come to an end. I think we're doing fine here, and I'm looking forward to building the brand, the whole Pops, the franchise, and where could we open another one? I don't know. We've been approached by lots of people, about franchising, but in the end, it's a diversion of our energy, and it's no reason to be greedy. You run a good operation here, and you'll be more successful in 1 or 2 places than you will be in 10 different places, which is unmanageable. As you can see, what's happening to all these restaurant groups, Alain Ducasse, and all these other restaurant, gurus who are losing control of the restaurants and cost structures, and it comes in a crisis, and everything comes crashing down. So it's better to know, the smaller business and to run it well than to
keeping under control and just making the most of it. So good luck for that. I don't know if there's any other questions, Stefano, from the guys.
No. I can't wait to come and eat your pizza, Greg, because
I would love to have you guys. I would love to have you. I always invite my partners to come and see. By the way, I will point out that your dealers have been outstanding.
Yeah, they're great. They're great.
The guys are great.
EMF guys are really good. Davor and Mario are just great.
They're funny.
Wow.
They're available when I need them. They come. We have a good relationship, and certainly I'm happy to be a reference for you guys, for anyone else looking to buy the equipment. It's expensive, but hey,
That's
not the same.
We're on average. Let's say we're on the average. Okay. But we were supposed to be there, but then all the things happened. So for sure, we will come. For sure.
Do you think the border situation might improve? And then I would love to have you guys here.
From what I should be open from the 3rd of June, if I'm not wrong. I mean, we allow people to get in Italy. I don't know if they want us out of Italy. I don't know. It's up to you guys.
I think it will be on the June 3rd, though. You'll be able to come. So
yeah, I hope so.
Come,
that's gonna be the thing.
Get a good feeling. I'll put you on the front lines. You'll make my dough. Huh?
Stefano, maybe for you it's a good thing. Stefano's doing. I'm not sure about, man.
Okay.
Anyway.
That's a deal.
Well, thank you, Greg, for your description. Was very interesting. Fantastic. Thank you very much.
If anyone wants to direct message me or has any questions down the road or whatever, you can always find me under Sapori _autentici.
Sapori autentici. Okay, I write.
Sapori _autentici.
Autentici. Thank you very much for that.
Thanks, guys.
And
thank you, Greg. And you can review the live on our social network on the official page of Greg Pizzeria. Is Pop's Place Pizza. And thank you very much, and see you to the next live.
Thank you so
much.
Look forward to it.
Thank you, Greg.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.